The Muddy Mangroves by Billabong Baz, Barry Lyon. "Don't go in those mangroves," the bloke said with concern. "There's things that'll bite you wherever you turn. Some sting so hard they'll make you cuss." But Dad, well, he just smiled kindly. He's not one to fuss. You see, Dad just loves to explore the bush and the sea, and the wonderful thing is, he loves to take me. So we boated over to that grey muddy shore. I really had no idea what was in store. The mangrove forest looked so dark and so green, with wild-looking roots like I'd never seen. They grew from the mud like intertwined legs, leaving nowhere at all for a person to tread. Dad tied the boat up and then, with an adventurous grin, said, "Now, it's time for our fun to begin. Let's pretend we're goannas as we climb over these roots. No need to be scared. It'll be a real hoot." So we clambered across, and I didn't need help. Soon I was grinning like a goanna myself. Then we slid down the last of those roots onto real slippery mud. It covered my boots. That mud made a great squelchy sound as we plodded along, and I was certainly glad that I hadn't worn thongs. Then a cloud of buzzing mosquitoes suddenly arrived. Hundreds and hundreds, and there was no place to hide. But we'd sprayed ourselves earlier, well, except for one spot, and on that arm of mine, the mozzies did blight. But Dad just bent over and grabbed a handful of mud, smeared it all over and said, smiling, "This is the stuff." And those mozzies now had nowhere to sting. I tell you, that mud, it's really a great thing. Then Dad got out his compass, carefully took a bearing. "Over there's a creek," he pointed. "That's where we're heading." We arrived at the creek, and in surprise I gasped, for there on the bank many mud skippers basked. Using their fins like legs, they skipped across the mud. Scampering like that looked to be such fantastic fun. Then, overhead, soared a handsome Brahminy kite, its plumage strikingly painted in red and in white. Suddenly, the kite dived down, with strong talons plucked up a mullet. "Well," said Dad quietly, "that'll fill its gullet." Down in the shallows a stingray appeared. Upon seeing such an amazing creature, I silently cheered. It swam so gracefully as though it had wings, with big broad flaps like giant fins. Then further along on the far bank, a crocodile we spied, just lying on the mud, not even trying to hide. "It's just warming in the sunlight," Dad whispered to me. "If we stay well back from the water, we'll be safe, you see." Well, just beyond that, a squad of colourful fiddler crabs we saw. Cute little crabs, each with a big yellow claw. When they started waving those claws all over the place, well, that put a huge grin on my Dad's happy face. Then we hiked through the dense mangroves back to the boat. "Oh, good to see it's still afloat," said Dad, as a joke. Then he quietly looked back to the forest, eyes ashine with nature love. And I felt the same, having explored with Dad nature's special mangrove scrub.